Okay. All right, you guys, tonight I'm super excited to have Brooke King host our team call. She is actually a part of our big TKO downline. And when I saw that she went from Emerald to 6-star Elite in 1 year, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have her share what she did with our team. So I'm super excited to hear her tips. And she is currently ranked 103 in the company. She is a full-time employee. She's an HR director. And most importantly, she is a wife and a mother of 2. So I know that a lot of people on my team, Brooke, they work full-time, they're moms. So yeah, take it away. I'm going to be taking notes over here, and then we'll just do questions at the end.
Hi, Brooke. Thank you for that introduction, Carly. She kind of summed it up, but yeah, so my team, and we'll talk about it all tonight because obviously you can't do it alone. And I say Emerald to Elite in 1 year, not to brag, but to encourage all of you that you guys can all do it. I'm no different than anybody else. Let me just share my screen. I have some slides for you guys. And I'm pretty laid back, so if you have questions and you want to interrupt me, that's fine. Otherwise, we can do it at the end, like Carly said. Let's just see here. And hopefully you can get some tips and tricks to take away and go back and go Elite or build volume, whatever your goal is. Okay, so yes, like she said, Emerald to Elite in 1 year. And that shirt that I have on down there is on purpose because really it is all about erasing all doubt, getting over any fears that you have and just making it happen. Carly, am I going to the next screen? I just want to make sure it's working.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes, like she said, this is my husband up here on the left. We've been married for 6 years. We've actually known each other for forever, so it's kind of funny. And he is really, really awesome. He's really supportive. I got really lucky. He's kind of got an entrepreneur spirit as well. So he's very supportive of everything and totally on my side and actually kind of kicks my butt into gear sometimes. So that's good. And then I have my 2 little kids, and one's 4 and one's 2.5. So we definitely have our hands full there. Down on the bottom is, my coach picture, and then down on the right is just a terrible picture, but it's my most professional working one that I can find. So like Carly said, I am the director of HR for a medium-sized government contractor in the DC area. And that's where I spend most of my days. And then, in my off time, I'm either with my little kiddos or I'm coaching. And I kind of joined, actually, after I had my daughter, I was the heaviest I've ever been, feeling really, really bad about myself, feeling like I was the victim of everything. And my husband ordered T25. And of course, I got mad at him because I was like, why on earth are you spending $200 on another video? We have plenty of them. Come to find out, I am obsessed with Shaun T, and that kind of just saved my life. And then that March was when 21 Day Fix was launched. A bunch of girls at work were telling me about it, and we actually all just did it together, and I became a coach and did my very first challenge group that I was ever a part of, right as a coach. So I've been a coach for, I guess, about 2 years now. After my first initial success, I kind of took off for about 8 or 9 months. I got ready for my sister's wedding, and then my sister-in-law's wedding, and then it was summertime, so I was at the beach. But then maybe that December, I kind of got revved up. I got a couple new coaches, and then January of 2015, I was an Emerald coach, and then kind of the rest is history from there. So the first thing that you really have to do to be successful in this business is believe in yourself. And your belief is so strong and necessary in this business. And not only believing in yourself, but believing in others, believing in the team, believing in the products. Because when you believe in the products, that makes you excited about them, and it makes you really excited to share them. But it's so important also to believe that you are worthy of the success that comes from this. I know, like, when we went Elite, I was like, oh my God, like, I still have 40 pounds to lose. How am I an Elite coach kind of thing, And I struggle with that. But, you really do have to believe that you have something to offer people. Sure, there's coaches out there, but you're different than the next person. And, some people are looking for you rather than me or Carly or whoever. So just make sure that you have belief in yourself, and that's what personal development is all about. But the business is not always easy. There's peaks, there's valleys, and you have to really know why you're here and fully believe that you can do it. This is like my favorite screen because I feel like I'm always multitasking like this girl in the picture. It's, you know, you're always doing 1,000 things at once. My kids are finally able to kind of take a shower and get dressed alone. So that takes off a little bit of the pressure. But first things first is give yourself a pat on the back. This business isn't for everyone. Not everybody does it because it does take work, right? This isn't easy. You don't just become successful overnight. So, you know, we're trying to add that to our already busy plates, which I do find it works best for people that are already busy. But, you know, congratulate yourself and celebrate this, you know, the successes and the small milestones along the way. Don't compare yourself to others. And I know this is hard because you see people getting rank advancement and you see people doing these things, but they might have a different schedule during the day. They might not have a big proposal due at work. They might not be, you know, working a certain amount of hours. They might have totally different stories. And this was very, very hard for me because I am motivated by, you know, I don't know, winning, I guess. I played sports my whole life. And so I really like to be, you know, good. So it's hard not to compare yourself, but you have no idea what else is going on in other people's lives. So just don't do it. If it's hard for you, just don't even look at your Facebook on Thursdays when it's rank advancement or whatever. Work on your mindset every single day. And, you know, this I learned the hard way. The 8 or 9 months when I took off and, you know, didn't do anything, I wasn't doing personal development and I was doubting myself. And, you know, my coach would be like, Brooke, you know, this isn't easy. You know, it takes time. You know, and it was when I started plugging in personal development because I'm not a reader. So what I would do is turn on like YouTube in the background at work or my podcast while I'm getting ready, stuff like that. But you really have to keep your mind right and in a great place because this business is so up and down. And you can have your best coach quit one day, and then the next day you're going to have 3 people sign up, and it's just awesome. Or, you know, you get these emails in the morning, and it's like, I lost 15 pounds. I could just hug you. And those kinds of feelings are amazing, but it's so up and down, right? It's hard to stay level, and that's what personal development is there for. Keep your priorities straight. This is also huge for me because I was so eye on the prize type and like focused on it that I almost forgot like why I was doing it. And for me, it's fun and it's that kind of stuff, but I'm doing it to provide a better lifestyle for my kids and to set an example for them of how working hard is going to get you places and get you what you want out of life. So then I found myself on my phone with my kids. So that was kind of like not what I was hoping to do. My kids would be like, Mom, can you get off your phone? So, you know, we started a new thing where I get home at 5:30 and the phone goes away until 8 o'clock when they're in bed. And that's really, really important. It's really helped a lot of things. We actually kind of have family time. You know, I can fully focus on the time I'm spending with them. And it's just really important to make sure, you know, you're not doing this for your kids and then you come in and you're spending all your time with your kids on your phone or working the business, that kind of stuff. Share your whole story, and that's what's going to make you relatable. And this is really important also because I know that I get so much more traction on my posts that are real, that show my laundry all over the floor, or show me not getting my workout in, or showing my cheat meal, or showing, you know, things that make me real, not just this coach. So definitely share all of that. You know, you want to be relatable, and people aren't perfect and nobody can really relate to perfect. So definitely just show, you know, what your life is really like, and then be flexible. I know, like, you know, this girl's doing like 8 things at once, but when you're multitasking and you're being pulled in a million different directions, it's easy to get agitated when it doesn't go according to plan. So just try to be flexible. And I say all these things like I'm an expert at them, and I'm not at all. But they're just kinds of things that I try to keep in the back of my mind so that I can be more productive when I do have the time. Patience is huge with everything. With your new coaches, you want to be patient. With the process, you want to be patient. With, you know, the whole business takes a little while to build. People are going to watch you for months and months and months. They're going to come to you every month and they're going to say, hey, I'm interested now. And then, no, not really. So it's just, you just got to be patient and realize that that's just a part of the process. And then once again, just know that you can do it. I mean, I started out as Emerald in January. I was Diamond in February. At Summit in July, I was a 1-star Diamond. And it was when I saw the elite people walking across the stage. Actually, a girl on my team took a picture of it and was like, Brooke, you need to be here next year. And I was like, I'm kind of far away. Like, that's not going to happen. And then all of a sudden I came home and I just put my face down in it. And I was like, I can do this. I can 100% do this. And I always tell my team to fake it till you make it and act like you're already there, and, time catches up with you. So it's all about, confidence, which we're going to talk about in a second. Every great thing that's worth having is going to require sacrifice. And I wish that wasn't the case, but unfortunately it is. And that's what's going to set you apart from the next person. So depending on your goals in the business is going to kind of determine what and how many sacrifices you're going to need to make. For me, being elite was really a big goal for me last year. So my husband and I, we sat down, we got on the same page. We kind of decided that during the week, our lives are just going to be crazy, right? We're going to get up. I'm going to work in the morning and try to get my workout in before the kids wake up. They're going to get up. We're going to get them together, breakfast, out the door to school, whatever. And then we are off to our own jobs. And then we come home. It's dinner, it's bath, it's bedtime. And then I have to work if I'm going to reach these goals and make this happen. We got on the same page and we agreed that was how it is. Every other week or so, we kind of have a date night where we'll just not work. But on the weekends, that's when we spend our time together. And for now, we've decided that that's fine, because this question, and this is what Melanie Mitchell told us, she asked herself every single morning when she was at NLC, she says, are you willing to do now what others won't, to have later what others don't? And for us, we're willing to put in that now and to make that sacrifice because, we want to have this freedom to just kind of live our life by design, right? And everybody can, differ in the, how you feel about that and how much you want and are willing to sacrifice. But my biggest advice is to get on the same page, because you don't want to be like, well, I'm going for this goal, I'm working every night, and then your husband or spouse or whoever not understand that and understand kind of what the end result's going to be. So get up early, stay up late. What I've done is kind of given up TV, which is fine, because really we would just sit downstairs on TV on our phones, and I was just on Pinterest, he'd be on, ESPN, whatever. So now I feel like I'm at least spending my time more productively. Confidence, and this is huge, because you can know nothing, but if you sound like you know what you're talking about, people believe you. It's the most amazing thing. Like I said, I jumped into this business without even being in a challenge group, and just was talking to people like I knew what the heck I was talking about, but I had no idea. Like at the same time, I'd be texting my coach, like asking what to say back to this person. But if you're confident, people gravitate to that because they want to sign up for something that the person they're signing up with knows something about. So just ooze confidence. I tell my team that all the time. Even if you're saying, I'm going to go ask my team and get back to you, just say it really confidently. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Honestly, if you're at your computer writing a post and it feels so uncomfortable to push it, because that's where you're going to get the most traction. People want you to be vulnerable, and they want you to be uncomfortable, because that's how you're going to relate to them, because most of the things that make us uncomfortable are not things we're going to talk about every day. So everything great happens outside your comfort zone, so get out there. Create your own team, and I don't know what Carly's view is on this, but I really try to have my team fly away from the nest as soon as possible. And I didn't always do that. Before, I was kind of we actually were talking about this at retreat last week. We were like a helicopter coach. But in the past couple of months, I've really tried to emphasize to my coaches how important it is to lead themselves and to lead their own teams and to do their own challenge groups. Because first of all, when you have a challenge group, you're going to want to get people in it. So that's kind of going to challenge you. But you're also going to have people asking you questions, and it's going to make you resourceful, and you're going to learn more as you go. You're going to learn what works. You're not just going to be doing what your coach does. So create your own team, even if it's just the two of you. Start a little message, because your coaches want to hear from you. Take lots of selfies, and I know this is so odd and bizarre to just put pictures of yourself all over Facebook, but you really have to do it. People want to see your face, so just take a lot until you feel comfortable with the one that you want to put on there. Selfies are great. And then grow yourself. Always be growing yourself. Challenge yourself, and by that I mean setting goals that are beyond what you even think is possible. Because if you don't get there, you're going to fall somewhere below that, and that's going to be more amazing than an easy goal that you put for yourself. Everybody in this kind of business challenges themselves and is a go-getter. So make sure you're pushing yourself to that, to that as far as you can go. And then, like I said, ooze confidence. And then don't compare yourself to others. Don't focus on failure. I know I was listening to like a Scotty Hobbs video one time or something, and he said that the coaches that do the best in this business are the ones that have failed the most. So always just fail forward, like learn from your mistakes and move on. And then, it's supposed to say, don't listen to the haters, because the haters are just going to hate, right? I mean, they're going to be out there, whatever their reasoning is behind it. If they're jealous or if they're whatever, they're just going to hate. And honestly, once you get past that, you're going to see this whole new world of like what to post, because you can be honest with yourself and you're not trying to cover it up for the haters. And then don't dwell on self-doubt, which is spelled wrong, sorry. But that is, confidence is huge. And like I said, just being confident, no matter what you're trying to sell, people will come flocking. Goals. So goals are huge, right? Because if you don't have goals that are written down and like, this is what I want to like check off as my goal, then it's going to be really hard to focus on what you're doing and where you're going. And people, that quote just says it right there. But you want to set goals that are SMART goals. So specific, measurable, action, realistic, and have a timeline. So some examples below, and I got these from some of my coaches, is go diamond by March 15th, 2016. Qualify for the New Leader Conference in 2017. Be a 5-star to attend leadership. Buy a house in 2016. All these kinds of things they're specific, they're measurable because we're going to either do it or we're not. You can put an action to them to make them happen. They're realistic because of where they are currently in their business. And honestly, anything is possible, which I'm learning. I know Bonnie was at our, Bonnie Engel, who's number 2 right now, was at our Super Saturday, and she went from, I think, a 2-star at NLC year before to a 15-star diamond in 1 year. So it's just, I think she had 22 new diamonds or some crazy number. So it's really just, it's all about what you want to do and how you want to get there. But, make sure what your goals are realistic and that you're going to be able to, push yourself to reach those. Your team is huge, right? I'm such a team girl. I don't know if anybody saw my post, but I posted like my soccer team and my beach body team, because that's kind of like how I feel. And being on a part of a team was a big reason for me joining this business. You gotta get in touch with your team, and you gotta find out what motivates them. I use the gym thing, the Ruby, Sapphire, Pearl. I do that on their About Me form, because you want to find, if they're motivated by recognition, recognize them for everything they do. If they're motivated by gifts, send them gifts. You got to figure out what motivates the people that are working the business, that are running the business, that are driving the team forward, and give them what they need. You need to also understand their deep down why, not just that they want to help people, but why they're really working this business. Because when things get tough and they get discouraged or whatever, you got to be able to remind them of why they're doing this. And hey, don't get worried about, not hitting that goal for this month. You are doing so much for whatever their why is. So just make sure you know that stuff about your coaches. It's really important to know who's working the business, who your like runners are, who your sprinters are, who the people are that are just kind of sharing out people they find. And the people that are running, run with them. Go as fast as they want to go, and spend your time with the people that are working it. And know who the leaders are, your up and coming leaders. And try to like figure out who your top 5 or so are and mentor them, take them under your wing and show them the way. And you also really want to know who you can count on. So my 6-star elite push at the end of the year was very, very rocky. We had, I think, our 5th and 6th star both went diamond the very last day in November 18th or whatever that you could in order to qualify for 6 weeks. So it was a 100% team effort to make sure that we got elite last year. And these girls that I was counting on, man, they were in it to win it, and they were just as much a part of this team as anybody else. So know who you can count on, who is, who has their goals in mind, but also is a part of the team. And that goes into the next one with who's on board with team goals. And this is another thing, is tell your team what team goals you have in mind. Brainstorm with them instead, because I didn't even say that to my team. And then one girl last April was like, or no, right after Summit, she was like, so what is our team goals? And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even shared that. Guys, we want to be elite. We want to do all these things. So make sure that you share that and you get people on board with it. And then you also want to know their personal stuff, what's going on in their personal life. I always do like a selfie Sunday or fun fact Friday on my team page just to post to see what people are up to. And you learn all sorts of cool stuff about people. And it really, you know, someone will see someone else's post and they'll bond over that. And you kind of get to see another side of people. So that's really fun. And then also another thing I do on my team is I have like, who can add 50 new Facebook friends this week or something like that. And that gives people kind of like a sense of accomplishment for something other than like Success Club, because if they aren't hitting that, then we need to do something that they absolutely can control. So teamwork is everything. Finding out what your team's all about and who your go-getters are is so important, because I always say teamwork makes the dream work. And then how to do this, right? So this is how I do it, and a lot of people do it very different ways. I'm very old school, so you'll see in a second that I like email myself lists. But it's really important to figure out what works for you, whether you're pen and paper. I use Google Documents and Google Calendar. Google Calendar works really well for us because it will combine with my husband's calendar, and then on my phone, when I go to my phone, my work calendar is intertwined with it as well, so I can kind of see everything in one place. But it's really, really important that you figure out what's going to work for you and your family, and just go with it. For other tracking, I do one beach body contact list. You guys see the title up there, and it just has different tabs, and these are the different tabs. So for prospects, I keep track of like who I'm talking to, who I'm commenting on their Facebook, that kind of stuff. And then customers, and I find that it's really important to keep these intact because, you know, we're constantly growing our customer base. And then coaches, it's good to keep, because now I have 2 different business centers, so I can never figure out where anyone is. And if I send them like a gift for hitting a certain, you know, rank, then I want to keep track of that because, you know, pulled in a million different directions, it's hard to remember what the heck is going on sometimes. Power hour. Now I say power hour, but for me, power hour is not like it should be. It is very, very hard for me to find an hour to really sit down and focus and do the entire power hour one time. So I keep track of it on these lists. I use the one on the right, the daily action tracker, but I also have this business activity tracker in my team page. And for me, this is just easier because I can, you know, wake up in the morning, do a couple things, then go get my workout in. Then I can come back to my desk if my kids aren't up yet, do a couple more things. But if the kids are up, then usually it's going to wait till like lunchtime or even nighttime. And so I just have to keep track so that I can check it off and I don't miss anything, because unfortunately I can't just do an hour. But you know, whatever works for you is really what you need to do. And this is what I was saying, I'm so old school. I literally email myself what I'm going to post, because if I'm in a meeting or something, it's so easy from my phone to just take that and copy and paste and post it on Facebook. So, and of course I say don't use these kind of images, and that's what all of my emails are. But anyways, you get the idea. So I'll go through and I'll be like, okay, on Monday on my timeline in the morning, I want to post something about this, take this kind of picture. And it just makes it easier when I have busy days. Like I just went to Disney a couple weeks ago, and I literally emailed myself stuff to post in my team page for every single day. And then I could just easily copy and paste that email and just post it. And I know people use like Evernote, and I used to use Google Docs, but the problem is you can't save pictures from the Google Docs, so that was a little bit challenging. But again, whatever works for you, but sometimes it just helps to do stuff ahead of time. And then Buffer, I'm sure you guys all use this stuff for your challenge groups. It's so great when your whole challenge group is buffered before it even starts, and you don't have to like wake up worried about what to post that day. So some final thoughts that I have, and I know I'm like speeding through this, I always talk so fast, is multitask as much as possible. So when you're a mom and you have kids and you have a husband, you're trying to get dinner on the table, sometimes your workout's just not going to happen. And so what I'll do is I'll post about that, obviously, and instead we'll go for like a family run, or they'll hop in the stroller and I'll run, or whatever it is. But just try to multitask and just share that with how you're doing. Have the kids work out with you. A lot of times Emily, my daughter, is like 35 pounds. So if I'm holding her when I'm doing squats, that's kind of, you know, accurate. So have them work out with you, you know, show them that this is a healthy lifestyle and teach them young. And they're going to, you know, do it with you as well. And it's a good bonding thing. It shouldn't be looked at as something that, oh, you're cutting into my workout time. Personal development, like I said, listen to things while you're getting ready, while you're doing the dishes, while you're, at work, whatever it is. Don't compare yourself to others. I know I've said that a million times, but don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing awesome. Everything you're doing is really, really great. And, we're in this business to help people. So that's really appreciated. Be sure that your goals align with your dedication, of course, because you don't want to set these crazy goals, but only be putting in 30 minutes a week. Delegate anything you can delegate. Honestly, I got a maid, and it was the greatest thing ever because I didn't want to spend my whole weekend cleaning, right? So delegate in business and in life. Whatever you can get off of your plate and hire someone or ask someone else to help. I'm all for that. Surround yourself with people who support you and your dreams, and this is huge because I have a really good group of girlfriends, none of which are within Beachbody, but they're all very supportive, and I think that that's really important. Take time for yourself away from it all, and this is huge because otherwise you're going to get run down from everything. Don't reinvent the wheel. I know Carly has a lot of great stuff. Brandy has a bunch of stuff that we can use. So just duplicate. You don't have to reinvent the wheel if things are working. There's no need. You can put your personal spin on it, but there's no need to reinvent everything. Don't waste time. And I know that, scrolling Facebook is like an all-time favorite thing to do. I do it all the time, but I try not to. While I'm doing it, I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. And then take care of you first, because I know while you're trying to work a business, you can get so hung up on the business that you skip your workouts because, 30 minutes would be better spent working or whatever. But, a lot of us got into this business because we wanted to have the accountability for our own health and fitness. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're working out, you're eating clean and trying to be healthy, because that's going to make you happier and a better person to everyone else around you. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like I said, embrace the chaos. Life is chaotic. Just don't try to control it because it's not going to work. I've tried. And have fun. And then, at the end of the day, I always have to bring myself back to this because I'm always, I get, huffy puffy and things aren't going right or I'm overwhelmed or whatever. And I'm like, Brooke, the reason you got into this business was, one, to get my own ass in shape, one, to make more memories. And by that, just having some extra cash to go to Disney or wherever it is, and have the extras. My husband and I go get a massage on a Saturday if we want. It's great. To provide for the future. We dropped off a check for their college funds at the end of the year, completely on Beachbody, and that's really, really great and really helpful for us as a family. And then to set an example, I think it's so important, and I really love setting an example for my kids, showing them that their mom is working hard and is doing big things because she set her mind to it. And I think it's just a good example, and I love doing that. I like to teach my family that, it's good to be healthy and fit. My kids, it's so funny at daycare, they'll be like, what does your mom like to drink? And they always say wine and Shakeology. And, on little videos from Mother's Day or whatever. It's so funny. And it shows my kids that life takes hard work, and hopefully one day, it'll get me away from the desk a little bit faster than if I keep working the rest of my life. So that's really all I have to share. I hope that was helpful.
Girl, that was incredible. I have 4 pages of notes. I love the way that you started, and I love the picture at the end. It was so cute. But I love how you said, that you're worthy of this success that you gain from this. Because I see that, sometimes can be a struggle for people. They get success or they hit diamond or they hit their goals, and then it's like, am I worthy of that? So I love that.
Especially if you're not where you want to be on your journey, sometimes you feel like, well, how am I successful in this Beachbody business?
Exactly. Yeah. Or like me, I sat at the computer for 2 months because I wasn't somewhere else. I wasn't Emerald or Diamond, so I didn't think I was worthy of talking about it. So I think that is such a way to, so many different ways that you can be worthy. And at the end of the day, everyone is worthy of this, in one way or shape or form. So, all right, I'll open it up really quick for questions. I know the people on the phones, we're going to have some background noise. So if you guys want to mute your telephones once I unmute, and we only have 5 minutes. So let me just do this. All right. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Don't hesitate or hold back.
Everyone gets so shy.
I know. I remember on my first couple team calls, I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna click off now." Why? Anyone? All right. Well, Brooke, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I loved everything that you shared. It was all such good information. And I think a lot of the moms and the people who are working full time will definitely benefit from a lot of your organizational tips too.
Well, and I got made fun of at our retreat this weekend because everybody's like, you need to use this and that and the other. So I'm a little bit old fashioned, I think. And I just do what's easy for me.
I'm pen and paper, so I think that's as old fashioned as you can get,
Yeah.
like 50 notebooks laying around the house. But that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Last chance. All right, girl. See you later. Thank you.
Bye.